Today we're doing a deep dive into the world of MrBeast. We got a very special source for this one, a document actually. It's titled, How to Succeed in MrBeast Production. It's like getting a direct line into the mind of one of the biggest YouTubers on the planet and how he thinks.
It's fascinating stuff. This document, it's basically his playbook for success, shared with his entire team.
It's pretty raw and unfiltered too.
Yeah, very honest and straightforward.
Which is what makes it so valuable.
Yeah.
So in this deep dive, we're going to be exploring everything from MrBeast's overarching philosophy on content creation to his specific strategies for making viral videos.
And even his leadership style.
Exactly. So if you're ready to go behind the scenes of the MrBeast empire, buckle up.
Let's dive in.
Right off the bat, MrBeast makes a bold statement.
What's that?
He says that YouTube is the future of entertainment, not Hollywood. He even goes so far as to say that traditional media approaches would completely flop on the platform.
He doesn't hold back, does he?
Nope. He's very direct and to the point.
Well, he's clearly built a wildly successful career on YouTube, so maybe he's onto something.
And this kind of no-nonsense approach really permeates the entire document. For example, he's a big believer in results over hours worked.
Makes sense.
He emphasizes building a meritocracy where success is based on what you deliver, not how long you spend doing it.
That's refreshing.
Right?
It's about what you bring to the table, not just clocking in and out.
Exactly. And this ties directly into his concept of A players.
He talks about categorizing employees as A, B, and C players.
Right. And he's very clear that in his company, only A players have a place.
So what exactly is an A player in MrBeast's world?
Well, he describes them as individuals who are obsessed with their work, they learn from their mistakes, and they're incredibly coachable.
So these are people who are constantly striving to be better, always learning and growing.
Exactly. They're also highly intelligent. They don't make excuses. They believe in the power of YouTube, and they see the value in his company.
So it's not just about skill, it's also about attitude and a shared vision.
Absolutely.
And a desire to be the best.
Right. MrBeast is looking for people who are the absolute best in the world at what they do.
A team of superstars.
Exactly. And on the flip side, he sees C players, or average employees, as detrimental to his fast-paced, high-growth environment.
It's a fascinating insight into the culture he's cultivating.
It is, and it really sets the tone for the rest of the document.
Makes sense. So once he's laid out his philosophy on talent, now let's get into the nitty-gritty of his YouTube strategy.
Okay, so MrBeast breaks down YouTube's success into 3 key metrics: CTR, AVD, and AVP.
Those sound a little technical.
I know. So CTR stands for click-through rate, which basically measures how enticing your video thumbnail and title are.
Oh, I see. So it's about grabbing people's attention and getting them to click on your video.
Exactly. MrBeast emphasizes that a strong CTR is absolutely crucial.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Then we have AVD, which stands for average view duration.
Okay, so that's how long people actually stick around and watch your video.
Exactly. This is where keeping viewers engaged is paramount.
Yeah, I can imagine that's a big focus for him.
It is. And finally, there's AVP, or average view percentage, which tells you what percentage of the video people watch on average.
Okay, so it's not just about getting them to click. You want them to watch the whole thing.
Ideally, yes.
Okay, so MrBeast focuses on these 3 metrics.
Obsessively.
Makes sense, though. If you can master those, you're pretty much guaranteed success on YouTube.
The document even describes him spending hours researching whether better lighting at the beginning of a video correlated with higher viewer retention.
Wow, so he's really digging into the data, trying to understand the nuances of what keeps people watching.
Exactly. He's constantly testing and analyzing every element to maximize those key metrics.
That's fascinating and kind of surprising. You don't always think of a big YouTuber like MrBeast as being so data-driven.
But it's clear that data plays a huge role in his success.
So he's not just coming up with random ideas, he's strategically crafting them based on what he knows works.
Exactly. He even shares this anecdote about how CTR-driven thinking actually dictates his video ideas.
Oh, really? Like what?
He compares 2 hypothetical titles. I spent 50 hours in my front yard versus I spent 50 hours in ketchup.
Okay, I can already see where this is going.
Right. The ketchup idea wins no contest.
Yeah, a thumbnail of someone submerged in ketchup is way more clickable.
Exactly. It's more intriguing, it sparks curiosity, and it's just plain weird.
Classic MrBeast.
Right. And this just goes to show how his creative process is deeply intertwined with this data-driven understanding of what captures attention.
He's not just brainstorming random ideas, he's strategically crafting them for maximum impact.
And speaking of impact, MrBeast stresses the importance of the first minute of a video, calling it the most crucial minute of the entire video.
The first minute. Why is that so important?
Well, think about it. When you click on a YouTube video, you have a very short attention span.
Yeah, if it doesn't grab me right away, I'm probably gonna click away.
Exactly. And it's pretty shocking to see how dramatically viewers drop off in those initial 60 seconds.
If you don't hook them immediately, you've essentially lost them.
Right. So his solution is to front-load content, exceeding the expectations set by the thumbnail and title.
So you gotta deliver on that promise right away.
He believes in grabbing the viewer's attention from the very first frame and never letting go.
So it's not enough to just have a catchy title and thumbnail. You have to keep that momentum going.
Exactly. He has very specific strategies for maintaining that viewer attention throughout the entire video.
Oh, like what?
Well, for example, he breaks down the video into different segments, each with its own purpose.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so walk me through that.
Okay, so minutes 1 to 3 are all about transitioning from that initial hype, for the title and thumbnail to the actual execution of the video.
So setting the stage.
Right. And this involves rapid progression, meaning things move quickly.
Keep things interesting.
Right. And then around the 3-minute mark, he introduces what he calls a re-engagement element.
A re-engagement element. What's that?
It's basically a highly interesting segment, something unique to MrBeast that's designed to recapture attention if viewers start to drift away.
Oh, clever.
Yeah.
So it's like a little jolt to keep people hooked.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He gives the example of putting Carl in charge of watching Josh in the $10,000 Every Day You Survive prison video.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. The unexpected change in dynamic definitely keeps things interesting.
Right. And then minutes 3 to 6 are packed with even more stimulating content. Fast-paced edits, exciting visuals, all designed to really hook the viewer.
So it's like a constant barrage of entertainment.
Exactly. And then the back half of the video focuses on delivering those strong payoffs and unexpected twists. What's fascinating is that he insists that every employee, regardless of their role, needs to understand what minute mark they're working on and how their work fits into the overall structure.
Oh, wow. So everyone is thinking about the viewer experience, not just their individual tasks.
Exactly. Everyone is part of this larger strategy to maximize engagement and keep people watching until the very end.
It's a very holistic approach to content creation.
It is. And it's clearly working.
Yeah. I mean, his videos consistently get hundreds of millions of views.
Right. He's cracked the code. It's not just about entertainment. It's about creating something that's truly memorable.
It's like he's constantly trying to one-up himself.
He is. And while he doesn't shy away from spending money to achieve these wow moments, he also emphasizes the importance of using creativity to overcome budget limitations.
So it's not always about throwing money at a problem.
Right. He gives a great example.
Yeah.
Instead of a simple cash giveaway, he offers a year's supply of Doritos as a prize.
Okay, yeah. That's much more entertaining and visually engaging.
Exactly. And it's probably way cheaper than giving away thousands of dollars.
So it's a win-win. It's more entertaining for viewers and more cost-effective for the company.
Right. It's about finding creative solutions that maximize impact without breaking the bank.
Makes sense. So he's got this unique blend of extravagance and practicality.
He does. And another thing he's big on is using consultants.
Consultants.
He calls them cheat codes.
Cheat codes. Okay, that's interesting.
He believes that consultants provide invaluable knowledge and can help you shortcut the learning curve on complex challenges.
So it's about leveraging the expertise of others to avoid costly mistakes.
Exactly.
So it's not just about having a great team, it's also about tapping into a wider network of experts.
Absolutely. And he's also very transparent about the importance of direct and open communication within his company.
Yeah, he talks about encouraging his team to say the negatives.
Right. He wants people to highlight potential problems early on and own their mistakes without fear of retribution.
So it's about fostering a culture of accountability.
And learning.
Right? Where mistakes are seen as opportunities for growth.
Exactly. It's a very refreshing approach.
And speaking of communication, he's also very specific about choosing the right form of communication based on the situation.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, for example, he's a big advocate for face-to-face conversations for important matters.
Okay, so not everything can be handled via email or Slack.
Right. Exactly. He believes that certain things, especially when you're dealing with sensitive issues or complex problems, require that human connection.
That makes sense. It's about building trust and fostering a sense of collaboration.
Exactly. And it also just shows that he values those personal interactions.
Absolutely. And on a similar note, he has this mantra, nothing comes before your priorities.
Okay, so stay focused.
Right. He wants his team to be laser-focused on accomplishing their task no matter what distractions come up.
It's about staying disciplined and driven.
Exactly. And if someone tells you no, don't just accept it at face value.
So it's about being relentless in achieving your goals.
Right. Exploring every possible avenue.
Persistence pays off.
It does. And this kind of ties into his emphasis on documentation. He calls it video everything.
Smart. It ensures everyone is on the same page, especially for crucial tasks like location scouting or ordering props.
Right. Visual communication, often much clearer than written or verbal instruction. Yes. So all these insights into his management style, I find them fascinating.
Me too. He's clearly a very hands-on leader.
He is very involved in every aspect of the company.
And he's got this unique blend of transparency, accountability, and a relentless pursuit of excellence.
Yeah, it's pretty inspiring.
It is. So we've talked about a lot of high-level concepts, but he also gets into some really specific practical advice for his team.
Like what?
Well, for example, he's a big believer in having backup plans, especially backup days for filming.
Right. Things don't always go according to plan.
Especially with his large-scale productions.
Exactly. So having that flexibility built in can save a lot of time and money.
It's a testament to his foresight and his understanding of the unpredictable nature of filmmaking.
See if you can turn it into content.
Oh, I love that.
He tells this story about a tree falling on a car and breaking some vases that were needed for a shoot.
Oh.
But his reaction was, "That's hilarious. We should mention it in the video."
Okay, yeah, that's a great way to turn a negative into a positive.
Exactly. It speaks to his adaptability and his ability to find opportunity in unexpected circumstances.
It's a valuable skill to have, especially in a creative field.
And then he has this interesting advice about how to manage your energy and avoid burnout.
Okay, that's important.
He says, pull all-nighters weeks before the shoot, so you don't have to days before the shoot.
So it's about front-loading the work.
Right, getting ahead of the game so you're not scrambling at the last minute.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's about being strategic with your time and energy.
Exactly. And another interesting tip, he wants everyone on his team to learn how to hold a camera.
Everyone. Even if they're not on the camera team.
Yep, it's about being versatile and being able to pitch in when needed.
So it's all hands on deck.
Exactly. And then he talks about how YouTube ranks new uploads.
Oh, this is interesting.
So apparently YouTube compares a new upload to your previous 9 videos and ranks its performance in the first few hours.
Oh, wow. So it's like an internal ranking system.
Yeah, and if you hear someone ask what was the video out of 10, that's what they're referring to.
Oh, I get it. So it's a quick way to gauge how well a video is performing.
Right. And then he has all these little rapid-fire tips, little nuggets of wisdom from years of experience.
Like what?
Well, for example, he says never keep contestants waiting in the sun for more than 3 hours.
Okay. Yeah, that's just common courtesy.
Right. He emphasizes treating participants with respect and ensuring their comfort.
That's important, especially when you're working with large groups of people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He even mentions how they lost a lot of participants in their Squid Game video due to long wait times.
Ouch. Yeah, that's a valuable lesson.
It is. It's a reminder that even with these massive productions, the human element should never be overlooked.
Absolutely. And then he talks about the importance of spectacles.
Those big over-the-top moments.
Like the giant Lego catapult or the time they gave away an island.
Right. It's what makes his videos so visually stunning and attention-grabbing.
But he also acknowledges that not every video needs to be a spectacle.
Right. Sometimes a simple, well-executed concept can be just as effective.
It's about finding the right balance.
And he stresses the importance of keeping the set manageable.
What does that mean?
Not having too many people crowding the space.
Okay, so creating a more relaxed and focused environment. And then there's his advice on communication.
Oh yeah, he's got some great tips on that.
Like what?
Well, he encourages his team to be honest and direct, even when delivering tough feedback.
So no sugarcoating.
Right. He says, don't sugarcoat things. Be direct, be constructive, and be respectful.
It's about creating a culture of transparency and accountability.
Exactly. And he emphasizes treating the talent with respect. He wants them to feel like valued members of the team, not just employees.
That's important. It fosters a sense of camaraderie and mutual respect.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And he even advises his team to go through him, Ollie or Tyler, when communicating with the talent.
So there's a clear chain of command.
Right. To avoid confusion or mixed messages.
Smart. It helps to streamline communication.
And of course, he reiterates his love for visual communication. He wants his team to show him things, props, concepts, rather than just describing them verbally.
It's a much more effective way to communicate, especially in a visual medium like YouTube.
Right. It minimizes misunderstandings and ensures everyone is on the same page.
So it's not just about what you say, it's about how you say it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then he has this interesting advice about working with intensity but strategically.
Okay, how does that work?
He encourages his team to push themselves and to not be afraid of those late nights. And finally, he reminds his team to always be mindful of their public image.
Makes sense.
It's about protecting the MrBeast brand and maintaining a high level of professionalism at all times.
So no drunken shenanigans on social media.
Right. He understands that his brand is built on trust and authenticity, and he's not willing to compromise that for anything.
Smart. It's about thinking long term.
Exactly. And then he makes a clear distinction between a preview and a concept.
Okay, so what's the difference?
A preview is a rendering of a set that's actually going to be built,
Okay.
while a concept is just an idea or inspiration.
Got it. So it's about being precise with language and ensuring that everyone understands the different stages of the creative process.
Right. It's all about clarity and attention to detail.
Which seems to be a recurring theme in MrBeast's approach.
He's meticulous about every aspect of his brand.
And it's clearly working.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into MrBeast's playbook,
Yeah.
I think the biggest takeaway is that his success is not accidental.
Absolutely.
It's the result of a carefully crafted strategy, a deep understanding of the YouTube landscape, and an unwavering dedication to his craft.
He's a master of his craft and he's not afraid to share his secrets.
Right. His playbook is a valuable resource for anyone who wants to understand how to succeed in the world of online entertainment.
It's a fascinating glimpse into the mind of one of the most successful creators on YouTube.
It's packed with insights that can be applied to any creative field.
So let's raise a glass to MrBeast for sharing his wisdom and inspiring a new generation of creators.
Cheers to that.
So looking back at everything we've learned from his playbook, what do you think are some of the biggest takeaways for aspiring YouTubers or content creators in general?
Well, I think the most important thing is to understand that MrBeast's success isn't just about luck or viral trends.
Right.
It's about having a clear vision, a strong work ethic, and a deep understanding of your audience.
And it's about being willing to adapt and evolve as the platform changes.
Absolutely. You have to be constantly learning and experimenting to stay ahead of the curve. And I think another important lesson is to not be afraid to take risks.
Oh yeah, MrBeast is all about pushing boundaries and trying new things.
He's not afraid to fail,
Yeah.
and he sees mistakes as valuable learning opportunities.
And he encourages his team to do the same, to be bold, to be creative, and to not be afraid to think outside the box.
So I think those are some of the biggest takeaways from MrBeast's playbook.
It's a fascinating glimpse into the mind of one of the most successful creators on YouTube.
And it's full of valuable insights that can be applied to any creative field.
Absolutely. So if you're looking to build a successful career on YouTube or any other online platform,
Take notes.
MrBeast has shown us the way.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive.
It's been a fascinating journey into the world of MrBeast.
It has, and we've learned so much about his creative process, his business strategies, and his leadership style.
Hopefully you at home have too. So go out there, create amazing content, and who knows?
Maybe one day we'll be doing a deep dive into your playbook.
That would be awesome.
Until then, thanks for joining us.